Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. You know what? I'm going to say this right now, and I don't care what people say. I really, really don't. I am a lover of nice things, pretty things, shiny, glistening, glimmering things, shiny objects, nice, pristine things in life. I'm a huge fan of jewelry. I don't wear a lot of jewelry, but I think that it's beautiful to look at. It's gorgeous. I mean, you tell me a diamond does not look gorgeous? A ruby, a sapphire doesn't look gorgeous to look at? No, it does. Gold, a gold chain, a golden ring, silver, beautiful, platinum, gorgeous. There's this thing called sterling silver, or something like that, I think it was called, but it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous metal. It's beautiful. I'm not against beauty, but one thing that I honestly cannot stand that could sort of find its way in the in the category to make things to look beautiful, to look better, shiny, that I hate, that I truly, truly hate. And it's not even like a metal, it's not even something pristine. It's something extremely cheap, but we use it to make things look sparkly, shiny, glistening, to catch your attention. But it's like one of the worst things that you could do, you can put on anything. Glitter. I cannot stand glitter whatsoever. I think it looks cheap. I think it looks tacky. It gets everywhere. And I'm talking like, you don't even want to like pick up anything, because once you touch something with glitter, it's all over your palm. It's even on your arm. Sometimes it gets on your face. You don't even notice it. Your hair, your arms, your clothes. I mean, glitter is like one of the tackiest, ugliest, cheapest, messiest things in the world. And it's used to make things stand out and pop and look nicer. But in reality, it does the complete opposite. It makes things look terrible. I can't stand glitter. Whenever it's like the holiday season, or even like, looking for like a birthday card, or, something like that for a special someone, a special occasion, the gift has glitter, the card has glitter, the bag has glitter. To me, that is an automatically not buy. Because I just don't want to hold that item in my hand, because I know it's going to get, like, I got to wash my hand at least to get this glitter off of my hand. It becomes an inconvenience. And truly, this inconvenience is something that can spread to multiple parts of your body. It's annoying. I've never been a fan of it. I don't understand it. I don't get why some people enjoy it. Some people think it's nice. People seek it. You can actually buy glitter and use it to make things glittery. Could you imagine that, being someone that evil, to buying like a plastic bottle, right, of glitter to put on like something to decorate it, to make it look quote unquote nicer, more appealing, shiny, gorgeous? And that person might be someone who's receiving it. It could be somebody like me who absolutely despises glitter. And they get that gift. They get that card. Maybe it's a craft you made, maybe like a t-shirt or something like that. That you decide to put some glitter on it. And then you open it, you see what it is, and you're like, ugh, glitter? Really? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a little immature about it, but I think I'm not the only one in this camp saying that glitter is totally like one of the worst things that we've ever created. I can't even imagine it being something that's simple to create either. You got like tiny little sand particle sized things that are like shiny and like metallic looking. It can't be that easy to make glitter. I mean, I don't even know the process of it. How you would even go about creating, not creating, but like making, manufacturing glitter. I cannot see how that could possibly, you know, uh, how anybody would go about making glitter, how that even began. And the person who did it, were they doing it because they saw, like, what inspired them? There's fake gems out there. There's fake diamonds, fake crystals, right? Fake rubies. But there's like, what inspired glitter? Obviously those things were influenced by like diamonds, sapphires, gems, and real rubies, right? But what actually inspired the creation of glitter? The only thing I can kind of think of is like sometimes if you're like on the beach or maybe in the desert and you see sand and at the right angle where the sun's hitting at the right spot, it looks like shiny particles, kind of like glitter. Kind of like glitter. That could have been like the inspiration of the creation of glitter, but I'll be honest with you, like that's all I can think of that actually would influence somebody to make glitter. Otherwise, there's like really no reason to make it. I don't see the appeal. I don't see the purpose. It's messy. It's inconvenient. It's rude. It just does not stop, you know. But it's everywhere though. You can buy it everywhere. Any store, craft store, grocery store, wherever there's always a little section of party stuff that you can buy glitter to make things look like you cared a little bit more than somebody else. Imagine if you're somebody who did not use glitter or a glittered bag to wrap a present, right? You use a normal bag without that shiny shit, and then you come up against somebody else who decides in his head, you know what? I'm gonna go above and beyond. Show this person I really care. I'm gonna get the bag with glitter on it. See what they really think of me, and then that'll show them how much I actually care. Because what the gift that I actually got, has no meaning towards this person whatsoever. No definitive qualities, nothing that I really paid attention to in picking out this gift. But hey, the bag, the wrapping, presentation, it's elevated. I can imagine that that's what it's for. Something along the lines of like making something look more desirable than it normally is. I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about like a lot of things. Sometimes when you're out and you're looking for a new fragrance, like myself, if I'm online shopping for a new fragrance, like a new cologne, and I'm looking for like style points, like what bottle looks the most expensive, and then I'll see how it smells. I'm not gonna go to like the regular looking glass bottle of cologne and be like, well, this one caught my eye for no apparent reason other than it just looks like an actual bottle. But hey, let's give it a shot. No, I'm looking at the bottle that has some artistic value to it, like grooves and designs in the glass and a cool emblem. Is the emblem carved into the glass? Does the actual glass have some weight to it? If it's like a lighter glass, probably not that expensive. Probably doesn't smell that well. But if it's heavy, you're thinking like, oh, I mean, this had some budget to it, boys. Like this could be actually a pretty good quality cologne here. That's kind of like where I look for when I'm looking at like stylistic points on things that I might want to buy. That has an appeal. And I'm a dude, so like I don't really like get like like I need to be wowed by a design of something that I'm shopping for. You know, I could buy, and I have no shame in this, I could go down to the store and buy a bowl, and it could just be a white bowl, right? And I'll be like, yeah, that this is what I need. I need a bowl to put my food in so I can eat it with a spoon. This is going to get the job done. This is it. This is white bowl, gray bowl, black basic bowl. It doesn't even matter. Just get a bowl. That's it. That's all I need. Now, if I'm a lady, you're probably thinking like, well, I need a set. Do I want china? Do I want a nice design? Am I going for a designer bowl? I remember back a long time ago, my sister was obsessed with Chrissy Teigen for no reason whatsoever. Like, I have no idea. She's not even talented. She does nothing. She's just, I guess, like, popular. She's well known for what? I have no idea. I don't know what she does, but she's well known for some reason. I guess because she's married to John Legend. I guess she is. Is she still? I have no idea. But she decided to buy Chrissy Teigen bowls. Designer-made bowls. Now, does Chrissy Teigen have a designer background? I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. She could probably just have a name. And then companies are going to be like, hey, do you want to start your own bowl line? You can call it the Chrissy Teigen Bowl Collection. And then she'll be like, well, how much is it going to pay? They'll be like, this much, and then this much. And then they'll be like, oh, yeah, I would love to start my own bowl line. That is my absolute dream, is to make bowls and to start and just manufacture and give out bowls or have bowls for sale. Obviously I'm joking around. She probably had no desire for that whatsoever. But anyways, here we are. She has bowls. And let me tell you this. The bowls were expensive. They were more than an average bowl, right? Sure, they had some pretty cool color to them. They were like an off-white and a gray mixture. They kind of like made it like a multicolored, well, like a white base color, right? The only thing is, my problem was that these bowls, the edge was not like a perfect round circle or perfect circle. It had like dips and curves, and it was like you couldn't pour like a good amount of soup in it because it would start pouring out from one side and the other wouldn't. If that makes any sense. Like, they were poorly designed bowls. Like for like pure like food containing functionality, they were just not up to par with my average store-bought, non-branded, basic white bowl. My bowl would outperform her bowl, and hers costs like triple the amount of what mine cost. Why is that? Because Chrissy Teigen made the bowls, designed the bowls, and that's why they're so expensive. And it's like, dang, Chrissy Teigen really designed this bowl, this inefficient bowl for eating soup or cereal or any like liquid food item, and she got paid how much money? She's charging how much for a bowl? How much for a set? I'm like, damn, I could have made some bowls like this. Just like totally non-functionable bowls. Why couldn't I think of that? I could have made this. I could have scammed so many people for these terrible bowls. I could have made money off of this. But no, I didn't even think of that. I didn't have the name for the bowl line, I guess. Nobody wants to buy bowls made by me. I understand. But somebody who has no talent, who's married to some popular singer, sure, yeah. Why not buy her bowls? I guess they're better than mine. Even though I can guarantee you if I designed a bowl, it would be like the perfect, like almost too perfect of a bowl. Like for consuming soup, cereal, salad, anything that you would use a bowl for. Ice cream. I mean, I would design the best bowl possible. I don't know. I just feel like some things don't need to be super designerish. They don't need to. Not everything needs a spin on it. Not everything needs to be unique in a way where you're cutting into the functionality to be different. If that makes any sense. Like, you don't need to make this bowl look the way it looks, look uneven, look obscene, look stupid, artistic, to get to the point. It's almost like modern day art. Modern day art is like one of the worst things that your eyes could ever lay upon. I mean, there are some paintings of just the painter just got some paint on his brush and just like flicked it, so it's just making these dots on the canvas. Boom, maybe a couple streaks there, streak up front, down to the ground. Boom, $1,000,000. It's like, what? I could have done that. Anybody could have done that. Like, I guess it's all in the eyes of the beholder, right? Like, whoever's going to buy the painting is going to be like, hey, I like that. I'm going to buy it for this much. Maybe art, maybe, at least like drawing, painting art, like, it's not even like good anymore. It's just weird. I mean, but I guess I kind of like understand why drawing art is at that point. If you think about it, we have the Sistine Chapel. We have the Mona Lisa. We have Vincent van Gogh's paintings. I guess we've kind of peaked at paintings. There isn't really much you can paint. To wow people, we've already done the Sistine Chapel. Who did it? Michelangelo did it way back in the day. What did he even get paid? Like 10 coins to do that for the Pope or whatever, whoever was in charge back then. Yeah, like 10 coins, 10 shillings, 10 gold, whatever the hell they got paid. He got paid that much just to paint that. I mean, that's a gorgeous ceiling piece. When you see it, you're like, Jesus Christ, literally, this is beautiful. How could anybody think of this? How could any human mind think of this and draw it? Think about it in their brain and actually execute it into such a perfect art piece. It's beautiful, gorgeous. To this day, it gets people to come and see it every day of every year of the past millennium. But no. Now what sells? Dots on a canvas, streaks of paint, not even in unison, not depicting anything, just kind of winging it. Like, imagine like someone going to buy a painting from someone, right? Like, all right, what do you got for me today? Well, I got this piece of shit right here next to this piece of shit, and then this one over here is a working progress piece of shit. You take your pick. Which one would you like? Well, which one have you spent the least amount of time on? Well, this working piece of shit right here, this work in progress piece of shit, is actually one I've spent like maybe about 20 minutes. Well, I'll pay you $500,000 for it. Okay, that's fair. I only imagine that that's how some of these art buyers are when you see modern day art. Now, a lot of it isn't like dots, streaks, absolute insanity on a canvas. There's some that have some sort of structure, some sort of base. A lot of it is also like in plain sight, weird shit that you're like, oh, I never thought of that, but now that you put it on a painting, well, now it makes sense. Like, it's almost like it needed to be illustrated on something for it to have some kind of value. You know, you have a thought in your head, right? Oh, what would it be like if a penguin kind of dressed up like a snowman, and then someone makes a painting of it, and then they're like, oh, it's art. I cashed it, $500,000 right there. That's it. But in reality, you're like, wait. All I had to do was draw it and auction it, and I could have been rich. Like, I mean, yeah, there's so many ideas out there that I think are just like stolen from people. You know, some are just stolen, or maybe just we have more of a similar brain pattern to one another than we think. You know, I think I remember talking to you guys about this about a year, maybe 2 years ago. But I had an idea. Well, I had like I guess I kind of made a proposition to aliens on my own podcast that if there was someone, no, what it was a conspiracy, a fun one, that aliens are actually on Earth, and they are determining who could represent Earth in like a federation of planets that have intelligent life on them. And we are considered one of those planets that actually have intelligent life on our planet. Like, we would actually be considered by aliens as intelligent. And we would need somebody as a representative to the planet. And, you know, in like, when you think about that question, like, who is qualified to be a representative for the planet in a federation of planets, in an intergalactic federation of officials? Like, we're talking like a universal Supreme Court. You know, who is the most qualified? And, you know, people would think like, oh, I don't know, maybe a senator, maybe a mayor, maybe a governor, maybe even the president of a specific country, maybe a group of presidents, maybe a group of elected officials. And I was thinking like, no, it should be me. No one loves humanity and mankind more than your boy right here. I should be the representative of Earth. I really should be. I think I should. I don't know. No one really loves mankind as much as I do, and what mankind is capable of. No one believes in mankind as much as I do. I might believe in mankind more than Elon Musk. I might. I think I actually kind of do. But I would be the representative of Earth. And lo and behold, Disney is coming out with a movie, I believe this year, titled Elio. And the movie is literally that. The movie is this kid. It's an animated movie, right? Cartoon. This kid is chosen by aliens to represent the planet Earth. And I'm like, dude, I swear to God, that was what I said on a podcast like months before this was even announced. I remember. So I feel like Disney is keeping tabs on everybody's thoughts and ideas. And, you know, it is kind of my fault. I do put out a podcast weekly. So I guess I understand. I should have copyrighted it as soon as I said it. I swear to God. I mean, I knew I messed up on that. But I do kind of feel that Disney, some executive, some scout, some studio head must have listened or had someone that they knew listen to my podcast, heard my idea, and got their thieves into poaching my idea, you know, making sure that, you know, I wouldn't be able to do nothing about it, which I probably can't, and take my idea, straight up take it from my hands in cold blood. That's what I think what happened. And let's be honest, It's a good idea. It's a good idea for a little movie. Good, fun idea. Now, obviously, would it be fun to be a representative for Earth in a galactic federation of planets? Yeah, that would be sick. But it's my idea. Shouldn't I get any cash for that? Any type of check? Maybe to the premiere, maybe in the credits, maybe a foot in the door to this business called Hollywood. I got some ideas I could probably bounce off. Maybe give me in a room with Steven Spielberg. We can give each other some ideas on what his next movie should be. Maybe I should do his next movie. I could direct it. I could do a lot of things. No one loves humanity like I do. Imagine somebody less qualified than me to lead the planet Earth in the Galactic Federation of Planets. I can't think of anybody. Not Trump, not Musk, not Zuck. Only me. Only I remain. I am the number one candidate to actually lead this planet. I believe that. Because I come from the very dirt of the planet. I come from the roots. I am blue collared. I am a citizen. I am a working class American. I come from the depths of hell. I have come. I've experienced hell and back. I've experienced winters like you would never imagine. Summers that you could never dream of. I have spent cold nights and hot days and cold days on this planet. I have seen the fluctuating prices from food to gas to water to no rain to too much rain to I've seen it all. I've seen mountains, I've seen oceans, I've seen rivers and lakes, trails and cities and suburbs and neighborhoods. I've seen it all. I should be the one to truly represent Earth. Now, this is a pitch to whomever is listening. I'm the most qualified. But that is kind of weird, though, huh? That this movie is coming out that is essentially my idea. So what do you think? Did they steal it, or is just like minds think alike? Maybe I have the brain or the imagination of an executive at a movie company. Maybe we kind of share the same brain qualities that, this person who has ideas for movies and TV is seen as a higher up in society, a higher up in class. He has a pretty comfy job, white collar job, you could say, right? A studio exec. But I, at a lower level, had the same idea as this guy. Kind of weird, right? Maybe we all kind of share the same ideas. Maybe all of us kind of think in the same way. I mean, we're all human, right? If we're all human on this planet, we all must share some sort of genetic coding that all makes us a little bit related in a way. Now, of course, not like directly related, like brother and sister, not like that. But we are all human beings. There are no Neanderthals out there. We're all Homo sapiens. The Neanderthals are gone. There's no other subhuman species out there. We're all human beings. So we're all technically related, if you think about it. It's weird to think. You shouldn't think, but it is kind of strange. We're all the same, in a way. I've never done an ancestry test in my life. I would like to. I would like to know where exactly I am from, where exactly my people are from. But that also takes a little bit of work and some money and some time, which I really don't care all about that much. If I'm being honest, to go to that much trouble to find out who I am. Yeah, finding out who you are, That is a hilarious topic of discussion because there's a lot of people out there that go away to find themselves. That sentence alone is troubling. If you are saying that, if you are repeating that to other people, like, where are you going? Where are you going, dude? I'm going to go to China to go find myself. That is a horrible thing to hear, and maybe even a more horrible thing to say to other people. If you are saying that there's something going on, and it probably isn't very good. Think of that, right? Let's say you're like me, at the advanced age of 30 years old, and you say to your friend, "See you, man. I'm out of here." "Oh, wait, where are you going?" "I'm going to go find myself." "What? What do you mean?" I'm going to go find myself. I don't know who I am. How do you not know who you are? Right? If you're 30 years old, it's over. You need to know by that time. It's like you can't be messing around no more. You just got to know who you are and who you're not. That to me is a crazy thing for somebody to say, like, I don't know who I am, so I'm going to go find out. How exactly do you find out who you are? When people say that, right, I'm going to go find out who I am, or what do they normally do? They usually travel, right? They go somewhere. And it's either you find out, like, oh, I like the beach, or oh, I don't like the beach. Is that what you were so confused on? Do you not like the beach? Do you like the beach? Are you more of a mountain person? Or you go to a different country? Well, it turns out I don't like French people. It turns out I like Italian people. Is that really what the goal is? I've never been somebody like to say, like, I don't know who I am. You know, I kind of knew who I was the moment I was born. You know, I'm me. I don't know. I probably didn't know that when I was born. I don't know if you know all that much when you are. You know, it's weird. Like, we have all these books, and we have all these, seminars, and people in the profession of, like, human brains and their activity, their chemistry, what they're thinking from age, this age to that age, in this scenario, in that scenario, right? That is a profession that we have in this world. What are we thinking? And I don't know if it's even possible to know, like, what, an infant child is thinking when they are born and they're just crying and crying and crying. Like, do we even have an idea what that baby is thinking? Is he thinking, like, oh, how am I alive? I was just underwater, and now there's nothing. What am I, like? Am I, like? Do I breathe? What is this breathing thing I'm doing? How come I'm like, if I don't do this, I'm like gonna die? Like, how do they even know that? How does a baby go from essentially being a sea creature to a land creature in like a second and know how to adapt? Does that make sense? It's kind of weird to think, but I don't understand. Obviously a kid is breathing in the womb, right? Like, how would he even be alive if he's not breathing, right? How is his body getting oxygen? Don't tell me it's that fucking cord. There's no fucking way. Oxygen is air. I don't think his belly button breathes air. I could be wrong, but I don't know too much about this. I'm just thinking. But it's kind of weird, right? How a baby in the womb of a human, is like a sea creature. He might have gills, and then once he comes out, boom, gills just, they seal up, and now he's got a nose and lungs. Life truly does, like dazzle me, surprises me. it just is like, how does this even make any sense? And you know what kind of sucks though? We are the most intelligent species out there. We are. No one rivals us. Well, maybe dolphins, maybe orcas, but when we are born, when babies are born, they can't do anything. They can't walk. They can't really move around. They're basically immobile. Their heads are so soft, like they sleep in one position for a long time, though their head will be a pancake. If they do it one other way, they'll be a traffic cone. Like they're super fragile. Like, I've seen like National Geographic like videos of like a baby giraffe like being born, right? And the motherfucker's already like galloping out of the mom's womb, like ready to sprint and ready to run. And we can't even like roll around. Nothing whatsoever. I always thought that was kind of strange. How we, as human beings, take so long to develop into what we are. And then animals don't take as long or need as much as we do while we're babies. It's kind of weird when you actually think about it. Like, first of all, what are we thinking? And why are we taking so long to grow up? Like, hurry up already, But I guess it would be kind of weird, right? What if we grew up in the way that a dog does? So, like, one of our years is actually 7 years. Could you imagine that? Like, we would age as much as it would take us to age 7 years, but only into 1 year. That'd be kind of freaky. That'd be weird. I mean, just imagine how fast our body would just like get bigger and bigger. Like, oh shit. Oh, look at me. I'm already freaking, doing so much. I like 2 months ago, I could barely walk and now I can sprint. Wouldn't that be kind of weird? Like, it would throw off our entire, like, well, what exactly is it anyway? Like, what is it that's in a dog that makes it do that? Because we only like, the way we measure time, a year, right, is like a year of our own development as a person. Yeah, I get it. There's like the calendar from like the the moon and the sun and all that shit, but like, people just back in the day probably had to only like view time as like a person's life, how much they could change within 1 year of their lives, right? How we even get to that point anyway? I have no idea. There's so much we don't know. That means at least I don't know. I feel like I would just like not know where to start. Time is what? It's just an advancement of our life, right? We're only measuring time through our own lens of us getting older and us getting closer to our own deaths. Isn't that kind of wild to think about? How many years did it take? 10 years. 10 years ago, I was this old. And now I'm this old. I'm 10 years older. If we didn't exist, there would be no years. We created years. Time. We essentially created time. The concept of time. A monkey is not going to create the concept of time. Monkey's not going to know what that is at all. We, as human beings, created time. Time was just there before we discovered it. If that makes any sense. I think it does. It was always in motion. It's just we saw it, we observed it, and we studied it, and we broke it down and determined that, oh, this thing that we are experiencing is called time. That's just what it is. Isn't that weird? I swear, man, every day I like give myself a brain blast. Jimmy Neutron, when he had like an idea, he would say brain blast, and then he would hatch a plan out of his brain, and you could see like the gears shifting in his little brain, and like ideas form in like a circle and like a spark flare and like an explosion of knowledge, and he'd say brain blast, and he would have an idea. I just kind of have a brain blast for myself, but like a it just like a realization that, oh, time wasn't a thing until we said it was a thing. That makes it, if that, no, that does make sense. That does make sense. There was no time until we said that there was time. We created time. We are essentially, in a way, God. We are kind of like God. We created shoes. We created a cup. We created time. As much as people want to, you know, prove me wrong, which by all means you can, but we kind of created time. It wasn't really a thing that we could determine what it was. We just kind of said, that's time. That's all time. Sun going down from this to this part of the day, that's called time. Weird. Don't worry, the whole show ain't gonna be about me just rambling on stupid shit. But, to some actual topics that I had jotted down for this episode. The live action Lilo and Stitch movie got a trailer finally. Before it was just kind of like Stitch appearing in commercials in his CGI form. I got to be honest with you. When I saw that happen, when that was like being rolled out from Disney, collaborations, Super Bowl ads, which is live action Stitch, appearing in other people's properties and companies, I was thinking to myself, like, why is this? Why are they doing this? Why is there no trailer? Why is there no teaser? How come they're not promoting this in the traditional way that they have done in the past? And I had thought that, well, maybe this movie is actually horrible, a horrendous movie that they should not have remade in the first place. That's going to be coming out this year, and they don't really want to release a trailer because they know that people are not going to like it. So they're delaying it in any way, shape, and form that they can. Maybe sprinkling Stitch here and there on a couple things. Hopefully that we forget about it, and then we'll just drop the movie, and then boom, that's it. Well, I'm here to tell you that yes, I did think that was weird. That was very strange. I thought that was a red flag, and maybe we should not be so excited about this Lilo and Stitch movie, even though you shouldn't, because it's a remake. But I ain't gonna stop the Disney folk from liking what they like. I'm not gonna yuck their yum, but I will say, after the trailer finally appeared online, which I gotta tell you, I wasn't like looking forward to this, but I was intrigued on what they would do. I have to say, this is, in fact, for the most part, well, yeah, pretty much all of it or most of it, is a live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch, which you cannot say about The Lion King. You can't say about Mufasa. Those are not live action. They're all CGI. However, this has a mixture of live action and CGI Stitch, obviously. And I gotta tell you, man, while, yes, I've seen Lilo and Stitch many, many times, I know the movie very well, and it was hitting on all the beats. I was like, yes, Lilo and Stitch, Hawaii, Elvis, buddy cop theme kind of movie with a kid and his alien. Some, family drama, tie-ins, responsibility, love, family themes. It harkens on all that stuff. But I will say, the CGI, from what I saw in the official trailer, pretty fire. I'm not going to lie, pretty fire. Like, it looks pretty good. I mean, I was expecting some decent CGI from a big budget Disney film. And from what I've seen, it looks pretty good. CGI wise, looks like a fun, entertaining movie that I've seen many times already. Probably not going to watch this iteration, but it looks enjoyable. It looks like if people, are going to be new to Lilo and Stitch, they'll be like, oh, this is awesome. And people who have seen Lilo and Stitch since it came out, like myself, will be like, yeah, this is cool. This is fun. This is enjoyable. It's not like it's, dampening on the original. It's pretty fun. And I was just like, yeah, this is not terrible. This doesn't look bad. Why were they holding this back in the first place? Did they not have confidence in it? Was it not looking right? Was the story not there? I mean, how could the story not be there? I mean, you're just remaking it. But then I saw Ving Rhames was trending. Ving Rhames, if you don't know, is an actor. And he is in the original Lilo and Stitch movie. He is Cobra Bubbles, the big black dude, secret agent in that movie, who was like the Child Protective Services agent in the movie. And Ving Rhames, voices that dude in the cartoon Lilo and Stitch. And it has been confirmed in this trailer that he is not reprising his role as Cobra Bubbles. And I will say this. How can you just not, live action cast him in this? I know he voiced it in the cartoon very well, but, the fact that you're not going to recast this dude to play the live action version when he looks just like him in real life is a crime. I mean, there's some things that you just cannot redo. You can't recast Darth Vader. You can't, I guess you kind of can't recast Indiana Jones. If Ving Rhames is fit enough, well enough, not busy enough, then you gotta cast him as Cobra Bubbles, man. You just gotta. He looks just like the dude. It's perfect. You clearly based him in the cartoon off of his likeness. You gotta do it. I was just like, this is such a fail. And I was like, honestly, when it first was trending, Ving Rhames, his name was just trending. What's this all about? What's going on? And then I saw, and people were mad that he wasn't playing Cobra Bubbles. And I'm like, wait. Ving Rhames was Bubbles in Lilo, and I was like, wait, I couldn't believe it. I looked it up. I'm like, it is Ving Rhames. Wait a minute, Disney. You dropped the ball big time on this one, man. You gotta cast my boy Ving Rhames to be Cobra Bubbles. In my opinion, it's just a big miss. It would have made the movie much more fun, a lot more funner, enjoyable, I think. The fan service would have been there. I get it, Stitch looks pretty good, but if you had Cobra Bubbles being played by Cobra Bubbles, man, it would have been a gold mine. Come on, Disney. How did you not think that this was going to be a big deal? You had to have known that. Come on. Little bit of NFL news coming in. NFL trades. Some interesting ones. Some ones I'm not super excited for, but yeah, I'll get to them right now. Just to run down a couple of the big ones. A few of the big ones, actually. Justin Fields to the Jets. That means Aaron Rodgers is being released. And the Jets will be moving on from Aaron Rodgers to Justin Fields. Now, I honestly think that Justin Fields is not a bad quarterback. But he has been, so far, in a bad situation with Chicago, in a better situation in Pittsburgh. Now, the Pittsburgh one, he was playing well. Then Mike Tomlin benched him for Russell Wilson with a positive record at the time. And now he might be going to a team with an even worse situation than the Chicago Bears and the New York Jets. A truly zero identity team, no hopes, a couple good players, and that's about it. Like, this to me is a trade like, well, let's try to make something out of, like, we got nothing. Let's see what we can do, you know? And I don't think it's going to be on that well. It's going to work out that well, I think. It's going to be bad. I think it could be actually pretty bad, that whole situation. Sam Darnold to the Seahawks. Kind of strange to go to the Seahawks, I'll be honest. Didn't really see him moving on from the Vikings from his year this past year. He was playing so well. And then that final 2 games really just kind of dug him in his entire trade value just kind of went down the toilet, essentially, and got picked up by the Seahawks. I mean, we'll see what he does. I mean, I just don't think that it's going to be that much of an improvement over the Seahawks. DK Metcalf to the Steelers. Russell Wilson gets one of his old targets back in Pittsburgh. If he stays in Pittsburgh, I mean, I've also been hearing rumors of Aaron Rodgers going to Pittsburgh. There's a lot of things going on right now in the NFL that aren't certain yet, but they're starting to materialize. And, man, this is just like one of the best parts of the year when dominoes are falling and trades are happening and deals are being done. And this is like an exciting time if you're an NFL guy like me. Devontae Adams to the Rams. Now, I'm a little conflicted with this. Being a Rams fan myself, I enjoy that Devontae seems like a pretty good receiver still. Definitely not as good as he used to be, like maybe 5 years ago. Still really good, but his baby back bitchness and not getting his way and not being on the same team with his buddy like Aaron Rodgers or even Derek Carr, his sore loser mentality, his whiny baby mentality is not something that sits well with me. I'll be honest, it's something that actually kind of repels me from enjoying this trade a lot. His selloutness of his previous teams. It's not like truly the type of personality I would like in my star wide receiver. But this is who we got. I mean, I'm sure he can do some good. He's going to at least have a good quarterback in Matthew Stafford re-signing. I think it's going to be, pretty good with him. I mean, obviously, by the time this comes out, the Rams have already released Cooper Kupp. So he'll be like either like the new number one or competing number one with Puka Nacua, who at this point could very well be our number one receiver. But if he has anything left to prove, I'm sure Devontae Adams is going to ball out as much as he can this upcoming season to prove that he is still a number one receiver in the NFL. So if he can keep that and make that and have that fuel him this upcoming season, and it actually leads to Rams wins and us winning games, and him actually contributing to these games and not being a bitch about it, and being a team player, not being a sore loser, and not being totally like checked out, and him actually wanting to play for the Rams, then I'm cool with it. Then I'm cool. Then I could be like, you know what? No harm, no foul. Do you. Make us be good. I would love that. I really would. And last but not least for this episode, we'll be talking about one final thing. One final thing that I got whiff of last week. We all know that Verdansk, the map, is coming back to Call of Duty Warzone. We all know that. It's coming back in April. And from what I've heard, is that if Verdansk does not bring back a decent sized player base and can continue a decent sized player base, then Call of Duty might just quit on Warzone. Flat out quit Warzone. Done. Gone. No more. Now, I don't know about you, but I haven't had a desire to play Warzone in months. Months. No desire whatsoever. Haven't cared. Haven't wanted to go back. Haven't wanted to play Call of Duty in months, including Warzone. Have not been interested. Have no desire. And I've never felt better as a gamer to not want to play Call of Duty. I felt really good about not playing Call of Duty. I'll be honest. So this little ultimatum that Call of Duty is essentially telling their players that, hey, if you motherfuckers don't come back to Verdansk, which you all love and have wanted back for so long, then we're not going to make another Warzone. Bitch, I dare you. I dare you not to make another Warzone. You know, I don't even have to dare you, because nobody's going to come back and running to your game and be like, Call of Duty saved us. They brought back Verdansk. Like, no one's going to care, man. No one cares. It's over. I'm going to go back and play, like, maybe as much as I feel like I can, but I'm not going to be, like, back on the Call of Duty Warzone grind. It might be over. Call of Duty might be chalked. It might be time to go back into hiding. It might be time for me to cut the COD cable again. I cut it back in from... I essentially cut it at after Modern Warfare 3. I cut it. It was done. Ghosts, Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, 4, all those I didn't even play. I didn't come back into the resurrection of Modern Warfare in 2019. That's when I came back. Maybe this is just a cycle. What's going to go on? You know, we just kind of are done with it for a while. And that, to me, is okay. For Call of Duty and Activision, not so okay. And it sounds like to me that they're banking off one last hurrah, that they can regain, rekindle, respark a community that has felt terribly, terribly left behind, terribly unsupported, terribly unheard, and just flat out, ignored for the past 6 months, while their game is just becoming worser and worser and worser. You know what? I can only imagine that they hope to get a fraction of players that they have right now to come back. They can't expect to get everybody back. There's no way that they could think that. That is wishful thinking at this point. There is no way that they think that a map that came out in 2020 will have the legs to revive a fan base and a community to play Call of Duty Warzone again. Might be chalked. Might be over. I mean, I've said this before months ago. Battle Royales in general might just be over. They just might be over. It might be time for us to stop playing them and to stop companies from making them. It just might be time for it to be over. No more. We don't want any more. Seems like it's going that way. I just don't see how it's not going to get the numbers back. It's just not. If it does, it's not going to be for a sustainable time for them to be like, you know what? We're going to bring back all the support for Warzone because you guys all stayed. That is not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I don't see it happening at all. It can't happen. There's no way. So this is all just kind of wishful thinking for Call of Duty. If they're actually serious about this little projection, like if it does not perform this well, then we're done. That might actually be the future. They actually might be telling you the truth, the hard truth, like, hey, if we can't rebound from bringing back the map that everybody loved from the beginning, if this can't save us, then nothing can. So I think that what Call of Duty is just wishful thinking, that bringing back a map that came out 5 years ago is going to bring everybody back and make them stay so they can keep making Warzone. Like, that's just not going to happen. I just don't see it happening. I really do think that Call of Duty is chalked, and it's time to wrap it up. All right, and that's going to be it for me today, people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember, you can find this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. New episodes drop every Thursday morning. Make sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, and do all that good stuff. And yes, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys next week.